Shoulder day, shoulder and tricep day. Machine that is my favorite here for shoulders, and it's specifically called a Strive. The reason I like it is because you can adjust the strength curve on the cam setting. So you can overload the top part of the motion, you can overload the bottom part of the motion, or you can have it consistent all throughout. So it's really good if, say you've got an issue with an overhead press where you might get some impingement or something at the lower part. You can make that the lightest part of the movement and then make it heavier as you go up. So it's a good way to work around issues there. And it just works as an intensifier as well. If you want to do a superset with the bottom part of the motion loaded and then with the top part, all sorts of fun stuff you can do. The cool thing about these Strive machines is we have them for chest press, bicep curl, and leg extension as well. So any sort of those movements that you're having problems, say at the bottom of a movement, you can adjust that cam setting to make it a little bit lighter at the bottom, heavier at the top. Really, really cool stuff. That cam setting's down here, and there is directions here that will tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 total different settings of a strength curve you can have on one machine. Really, really cool stuff.
Well, Phil, you're what, 5 weeks out?
Yeah, just about 5 weeks out now.
So what's the hardest part? Like overall bodybuilding, what's the hardest part? Is it like the mental part, physical part, dieting?
Yeah, it's probably the fact that it's a 24/7 thing. You can get a break from it, but the food, the training, the sleep, recovery, supplements, everything's got to be on point 100% basically for a bodybuilding prep. So that wears on you a little bit. The thing I have learned and I've tried to remember is that I'm choosing to do this. Nobody's making me do this. So that kind of puts things in perspective a little bit to help when you start to feel a little down on yourself or start complaining about, not eating good food or stuff like that. So it's good to have support. My wife is very supportive, bless her heart. This is actually her idea. She wanted me to try this, so I got to give a shout out to my wife, Sarah. But yeah, other than that, the hardest thing has been, for me personally, the training's easy, cardio's easy. I can do that stuff all day. I'm doing that stuff anyway. It doesn't bother me. The cravings, that's been the hard part. Every once in a while, it'll hit you like a ton of bricks. You never really notice how much terrible food is out there and is advertised 24/7, 365, and it's always right there in front of you, staring at you in the face. So you got to be strong with that. But
so the willpower,
yeah, the willpower. Sacrifice short term for the long term goal. You got to keep that in mind. So, but yeah, for me personally, the most challenging thing so far has been cravings, just because I've never dieted so strict and for so long before. So, yeah, it really shows you what you're made of mentally. So, but embracing the challenge, couple slip ups here and there. We're human, but overall everything's going good.
That's awesome.
All right. So superset I like to do for shoulders. I actually don't train shoulders that often, and when I do hit them, I don't hit them like a normal body part like chest or biceps. Usually just 2 exercises and then call it good. Just genetically, I got lucky with shoulders, so I've had Eli ask me, what do you do for shoulders? And I'll tell him I'm kind of the last person to ask, because I just don't hit them. I just got lucky. Not that lucky at all body parts. Talked to Carl, the owner. Fantastic set of calves on him, and ask him how many times he trains calves. So Sometimes we get lucky with some parts and sometimes we don't. So this is a superset I like to do. Seated lateral raises, classic old school bodybuilding movement with a lighter dumbbell, and then I'll kind of fatigue on that, stand up, do a heavier dumbbell, standing laterals with a little bit of momentum just to force a little bit more blood in there. Form is really important with lateral raises. Can get sloppy really quick. Make sure tension's always on the delt. That's how we wear out the delts.
Phil, have you ever had any injuries before?
I've got constant tendonitis in this elbow that I always fight. I've had shoulder impingements. The low back about once or twice a month will give me issues. It's just something I got to work around. I'm not young, 38 years old, so there's gonna be issues here and there. I do have an autoimmune issue, so I got a lot of joint problems and things like that, so I got to be careful, especially with legs, my knees and stuff like that. But nothing major, luckily, yet. I'm sure it's bound to happen sooner or later, but right now everything feels good enough besides the tendonitis. But yeah, everything seems to be going good.